The city of angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to the Heart of LAFC podcast. We're going to call this one Starman for very obvious reasons. And yes, this is episode 268. In order to properly cover what we're doing today, let's introduce our crew. We've got Araceli, Bam, and Tony skating in the last second there, so we'll let him get a little bit settled. Araceli, how are you doing today?
I'm actually doing great. I'm over here packing because getting ready to go to Philadelphia next week for the United Soccer Coaches Convention. I'm very excited to see everyone, and especially for the NWSL draft. I don't know if you guys seen the recent news with Angel City, but they just recently traded for the top spot. So I'm very curious to see who they'll select.
Who do you think? Who do you think is like the top player right now that they might be going after?
I have to admit, I haven't really been following the draft choices lately, so it's anyone's guess in my opinion, but knowing Angel City and the type of players that they might need to not only accompany like Christian Press or oh goodness, what's the goalkeeper? Didi, I believe is her name. So again, I'm curious to see who they get.
Yeah, I mean, they are who they are. Like, they're ambitious just like we're ambitious. So I would expect something big happening, even maybe another crazy deal at the last second. You never know. But having the top spot is a great luxury to have, and they found a creative way to get there, so good on them for doing that. Bam, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing quite well for a nice balmy summer Friday afternoon. Sorry, not Saturday, it's Friday. Just going back with that trade that you're talking about with Angel City. From everything I'm reading, apparently Alyssa Thompson's going to be the number one pick.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
First reported by someone that I don't want to speak about on Twitter because we don't talk about him, but other places are also reporting it too.
I mean, a name that might, match up with a Home Alone character. Just maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, gotcha. And Tony, who I think he's caught his breath now. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing pretty well. Enjoying the New Year's, and can't wait for the season to start. Some big news has just been happening left and right, and we still have the off season to continue that. So we'll see what's going to happen.
Pretty wild, yes, and we'll definitely get into that. And on my end, I am back home from Mazatlan, visiting family. Obviously, we're all seeing the news right now. I can just say that I'm praying for everyone down there, including my family. Hope they get back safe and it gets settled soon. So yes, to everyone out there, all my friends and family, love you guys. I can't wait to see you come back and get some way back to normal again. Yes, so let's talk about the show. We were going to kick off with new signings, but y'all saw what went down these last few days, so we're going to get right into it, of course. That would be the one and only Latif Blessing, the original, one of our first, actually, expansion draft pick, a steal when we got him from Kansas City, but basically one of our own and will always be one of our own, has made his departure. And, of course, in the beginning, people are like, why would you do that? How could you do that? And, of course, our lovely brother, Benjamin Verhen, came up with an amazing article with a great deal of research, interviews, process to get it right and explain exactly what happened. And for us, I think for all of you, tactically, football side, I think we all understand why the move was made. Financially, we all understand why the move was made. But at the end of the day, it was definitely an agreed upon move by all parties and definitely something that Latif needed. I won't say wanted, needed. And so we respect that. We respect his openness to the situation, his willingness to sacrifice for us, including, I guess, missing the birth of his first child. for the sake of a football club. You guys got a lot more stones than I do, I would say, because I would tell everybody to kick rocks and go home. He is who he is. It's hard to say other than he's heart and soul, and he will always be heart and soul. He's the face of the club, face of the franchise, just as much as Carlos Vela, and ultimately a fan favorite. Again, really one of the first to get his own songs. You ask a single kid in that stadium, any kid in that stadium, you can pretty much guarantee who's your favorite player. They're going to see Latif Blessing. That is how important he is, including my kids, who honestly, my daughter's kind of crushed about the whole thing. So it takes me to explain it, but she has good memories with him. And I mentioned to these guys before we went on air, her last memory was getting a huge hug from him in the players' tunnel, walking out at the cup final, because she got to be one of the ball kids. But he took the time while she was already waiting in that line to walk out to give her a hug. And so that's her memory. And so I think that's awesome. And so there will always be a place in our hearts for Latif Blessing. And I'm going to throw it to you guys next. Tony, I'll go to you first on this one. Your thoughts about what went down.
It was it's hard to say, because we need to grow. At the end of the day, we can't keep the original players and stuff like that. So like, for him to last as long as he has, there's something that we needed, and also he's always done everything he needs to do for the team. So him taking this initiative to leave and keep us healthy and moving forward, he's being unselfish. On everything off the field, that could be taken the way it can be, but again, he's a fan favorite. I wish him the best of luck wherever he goes. Hopefully he gets everything situated with his family, and New England can help him out probably better, and hopefully and get that his family into the States. But again, best wishes to him overall. You can't really say anything bad about the guy.
I mean, it was a mutual agreement to part ways. This is what this is. It wasn't what they traded me. It wasn't, hey man, he just wants out and he's he's angry with all. No, it was definitely a need by both parties. Now, in a way, everybody wins on this deal. Yes, our memories, right? In heart, it hurts. But in the big picture, everybody won on this deal. You're like, why? How could that be? We got $400,000 in GAM. That's a lot for a player that couldn't register a minute in the playoffs. A whole lot. Also add in the complaint that the Revolution had against us and the investigation regarding the Tajuri Shradi trade. That got waived. That complaint got dropped because this deal was made. And that could have been very messy for us. We were disputing it, but it could have been something where we take a fine or we lose some privilege or something for a potentially considered raw deal. I think we would have won the case, but still, it's better not to deal with that. You have a player that needs to be where he's at. We have another opening for a player. When you find out and look at Ben's article, we were paying Latif pretty darn well at the end there, and that opens up some decent cap space for a replacement in a midfield that needs to get a bit of a shuffle as other players are leaving as well. So he will probably get more play time at New England, right? They're not our level right now. They struggled badly last year. He's closer to home, so the immigration situation for his wife should be in a better state because of this. So on my end, I'm happy for him that he gets to make this move and start something new. I will root him on whenever he's not playing us. Another reason to watch the New England Revolution, because I'll watch my Starman. I know others will too. And again, everybody wins. Bam, your impressions, sir?
Look, it's after reading Ben's article, and Ben, hats off to you for all the homework you did on that article. It was an amazing read. Look, after going at that, seeing stuff happening behind the scenes that none of us knew about. Let's be honest, there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes none of us knew about. It's a trade that needed to happen. Looking at our starting 11, there's no way that he was in our best starting 11. But that being said, though, the hype that he always brought when he stepped onto the pitch. When he was on the pitch, the hype he was doing, he was the heart and soul of that team over the last couple of years. Always fighting, always smiling, always giving us everything to cheer about. For us to get 400K for him, which is pretty much what we paid his salary last year, is a great deal from us. Having the Chidori Shadi stuff dropped makes it even better. It's a sweetener on that. When he comes back, what was it, March 12th? I hope that everyone in the stadium gives him a round of applause and says thank you for everything he has done for this club, because he's done a lot for this club, and I hope that he can be back with his wife soon.
Yeah, I will ask that from everybody involved. Pod fam and all, show some respect. He's an original. And he put in way more time than he needed to, and probably stayed here an extra season or two. He went from being a guy that always found his way into the lineup to being probably 14th in line. That's the truth of it. Because why? He had hit a plateau, right? He hit his level. This is what he does. This is what he gives you every week. But our club rose above. And the talent level of the club, especially the starting 11, rose to a point that he could not get to under the requirements needed, which is to be a championship side. He couldn't break the 11 because our level rose. It's that simple. That's the sport. And so a good reserve throughout the year, yes. But, yeah, about 14th in the line if you really look at it this year. It's tough, but that's the truth of it. Araceli, your thoughts, your memories. You've known him longer than us with SKC. I know he was a fan favorite there as well, right?
Oh, he definitely was. And personally speaking, this stings twice, if anything, because, as you mentioned, he was the first to be selected by LAFC in the expansion draft from SKC. So from then on, it was kind of one of those, like, you're losing a fan favorite, because no matter what, he's always been that genuine person. He's always been like giving his 100%, whether it's on the field or off the field. But at the same time, even though I had the opportunity to work with him, both at SKC and LAFC, he still had those underlining thoughts, especially with his family. And it was very well documented also, because he would express of how he missed his wife and his family members, which is completely normal, of course. So given the trade to New England, as you two mentioned, yes, from a business perspective, it is a great trade for LAFC. But at the same time, I am wondering if excuse me, if New England made an additional clause in his contract or something that does involve his family, although, he already did the job with LAFC in helping leading the club to the championship. Granted, he didn't have any playing time in that, which I think he should have at the end of the day, but he was still a huge part of the history.
Exactly. And he always will be. You can't take that away from him. You can't take away the dedication off the field at all the charity events he went to, public events, people's houses. I think he went to weddings. There's pretty much nothing that he didn't entertain or was willing to go to. Very close to all of us. That's for sure. So for Latif, from all of us, from the Heart of LAFC, we wish you nothing but the best, brother. We hope that your family situation improves quickly and this resolution occurs. Whatever happens in New England, we hope you break into the 11, man. We really do. And yeah, farewell, brother, without a doubt. Now, before we get into the rest of the news today, I know a lot of you guys probably have comments. So definitely fire it off, guys. Tell us what you got to say. I'm going to go into the comments right now, bring some out if you guys have anything to say, because I think this move, outside of Carlos Vela one day moving on or even retiring, this one definitely, you guys definitely need to get your voice in on it. So let me see where you guys are at on this. We'll go from there. Jason Ariano, the first one to comment on it, says, in the short history of our club, no one has had a bigger heart than Latif Blessing. Blessing, you will be missed. Thank you for that, Jason. LOL Man says, Blessing always will be black and gold, without a doubt. Smalls Kenobi, same thing. Blessing will forever be a black and gold champion. And that we also have to say as well, if you're going to depart aside, right, leave at the top. Leave at the top. That is the best way to do it for Thorrington, for everybody. Epic. Daniel Hill said, did you see the Ben Vierhen article? It made it seem like the relationship between Latif and Efno wasn't all flowers and butterflies. Kudos to Latif and the team for handling the business like business. It wasn't all butterflies. There was some confusion. There was some kind of back talk. It wasn't good towards the end there. But that didn't affect his play. That didn't affect his dedication. It didn't affect him in the locker room either, as you saw the players hugging him, and it didn't affect his relationship with the city of Los Angeles and its supporters. And that, I think that's the story that you need to remember. And so, yes, you can have all kinds of issue on the business side, but if you're so much of a professional that you can leave that behind and still be Latif Blessing, it's rare to find a player of that quality. It really is. So good on him, good on John, good on the club, though, even going through all these difficult times, to still have his back when it came to the field and doing that stuff. That's huge. It's huge. So good on everybody for that end. But yeah, the situation did definitely sour. Jonah B, can we return to the bank, please? Soon. Might be underwater right now, but soon. Daniel Anhill says, I miss Blessing a bunch, forever black and gold. Edgar Corral says, Blessing needed more playing time. I'm happy for him. Agreed. Daniel says, club continues to maintain the reputation of catering to players' wants and needs when necessary, and so-called players, clubs, if you will, to a point. This is still a business. It is not a charity. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, that's for certain, but at the same time, you can't be burning guys, right? So, yeah, you're right. LAFC Wolf says, let's see, second try. No, we're talking about Eddie. We'll talk about Eddie in a little bit because that's one to definitely talk about. So those are our comments about the Starman. Thank you guys for that. And then we'll move on because there's also a couple departures before we talk about arrivals. There's a lot of movement, so it's kind of a heavy one. Who else went? Well, Sebastian Ibiaga went. I don't think we really covered it last episode, but we got to say what we got to say. He left us, free agent. Be real here. He did the work. He stuck in when he needed to. He was a great reserve for us in many cases, but when injuries kicked in, he stepped in and got the job done. Another story where he left on top. If there was a time to move on, he picked that time correctly. This would be the right move for him. And in free agency, do what you got to do. That's fine. We get it. We're thankful for what you've done. Thank you for your service, sir. I'm not going to go too deep in that. We know about Ibiaga and what he did. It's all good. This was an interesting one that we saw today. We do need to give a farewell to Will Kuntz, one of the guys behind the stage, right? Pulling plugs, doing the hard work, pulling strings, I should say, making it happen. He is a veteran of this league, a builder, you could say, for several clubs, putting in his work. And we don't know where he's going to end up, but he's that guy that you want on your side if you're really building a squad, if you're building a football side in this league. He's an expert. So for us, we are beyond thankful for what he's helped us to create, all the crazy work that he's put in to build this squad with John and the crew. And we get it. We just hope he doesn't end up in Carson. That's all. Austin, too. Yeah, we don't want you there either. But, it is what it is. It's the business. We just hope nothing for the best. I know Aerosol, you say he's from the East Coast, right?
Yes, he's originally from Brooklyn.
Yeah, so maybe he's heading back east again. Who knows? But wherever he goes, we wish him nothing but the best, just not against us. Fair enough, guys? Fair enough. So those are our farewells for now. There might be some future ones, and we'll talk about those in a few minutes. But we definitely need to talk about who's coming in because we've got new signings, a lot of them that we haven't covered yet on this show. So now it's our chance to do so. The big ones, we'll kick it off by size of wow. We'll just go with that. First one, of course, was Danilo Maldonado. He is on loan from FC Matagua, Honduras. We do have an option to buy him at the conclusion of the season if we choose to do so. This will be his third loan stint, though. He's been all over the place. So we'll see what happens. He did play in Mexico as well on loans, but he ended up back at Matagua. The good thing is that he has 5 goals, 2 assists, 116 appearances for his side, 21 caps for Honduras. Yes, guys, another national player. He also went to the Tokyo Olympics. I believe he recently won a cup for Matagua as well. So we have a guy that wins. We have a guy that puts in the job, does the job, and can step into a starting role pretty much right away. Good move, especially as a loan. It's going to save us some money there. Who wants to tackle this one on their impressions? I will go to you, Bam. What are your thoughts, man?
For me, looking at what it is, it's a good play. He's still young, all that kind of stuff. It's an option to buy at the end of the loan too. So if he doesn't, it's a free trial for LAFC, so it's great.
Right, and it's a short loan. I like short loans. This is good. We're not locked in for too long. Yeah, all good there. Another big move, and guys, I was a little shocked at this one. I'm like, what? This one's a little surprising. Do we go this direction? Do we go to Europe very often for young players, or you just get old players from Europe, right? Usually in this league, it's old farts. Retirement league, what? Yeah, that's what we do here. Not with this move. This is the exact opposite. This is that move that you're like, wait a minute. It's a game changer. We got, I'm going to butcher his name, but Stipe Buke. I think that's how he says it. He's a left wing, left midfielder from Hajduk Split. Debuted for them at 17 years old. Pretty darn good there. We got him on a 4-year deal. This ain't a loan. We just purchased the player to develop him into his prime. What? Yeah. And we'll have him through 2026 with a club option in 2027 to add in another year. This is massive, guys. Really. This is huge. You're like, why? Because he's already an international for Croatia. And last time I checked, Croatia kind of goes far in the World Cup. They're kind of achievers, you could say. And this guy gets time, I know right now for the youth national team, but he still gets time and he's rated. I don't know what we did in the back end to get this guy, but it's pretty darn impressive. He was named to the UEFA's 40 for the future in 2022. So that's the top 40 young players under the age of 21. What? An MLS team getting that kind of guy? Yeah, that's us. Once again, he was a finalist for the Golden Boy Award, which is the best young player in Europe. Again, tick those boxes off, guys. And at his young age, he has 6 goals, 8 assists, and 66 matches. So he's actually produced for them. And if you've watched his work rate, seen the videos, he's a bit of a trickster as well. And I know we have Denny Bouanga over here, and everybody's like, why? Well, when we could possibly play 50 games in a season, that's right, 5-0, you're going to need extras in each position, and they need to be good if you're going to be competitive. So here you go. 2 speedy wingers, kind of do the same thing, but not. A little different there. One developing, one in the middle of his prime. Pretty good stuff. I know we love our wingers, don't we? We get 27 of these guys. Midfielders, shit, we'll get 2 for the time being, but it's okay. We got 27 wingers. We'll figure it out. Of course, we have him. We also have Aaron Long. And I think this was a coup because earlier in the week, I think last week, the rumors were to the Galaxy, to other sides, re-signing possibly to Red Bull, maybe going to Europe, something. But now he's with us. Yes, another U.S. national player. Yes, finally with us. Defender of the year in 2018. He did have a bad injury in 2021, but came back and ended up playing 28 starts. Nice return back. He's had 29 caps with that national team. Former captain. Once again, we're signing captains from other sides, which is another rarity. but we're doing that. And so once again, our defense is getting more and more solid. We'll talk in a few minutes as to why, potentially as to why, but I think these 3 deals are massive, massive, massive for us, and they have a big impact. Tony, I'll go to you. Looking at these 3, what are your thoughts, man?
Just a deep run for all the competitions that we're in. It's like you said, we need backup up front. We have to replenish our defense because we've lost a couple of people in the offseason, and we haven't signed any yet that we have in the offseason, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So it's a good signing for right now. Like I said, the youngin in Europe, the last time we tried that was, as a DP, and that was Horta, and that didn't go too well. But from the highlights that we see from him, and I'm hoping with the way he's going to go, he could, potentially do well with us, and also at the end of the day, make us money when it comes time to sell.
Yeah, I mean, the way he's been rated, the way he's developing, it doesn't seem to have that Horta mindset coming into this, where he's a really high skilled player but doesn't done a whole lot. Like, he could do something, but he's already doing something. And so I think that's huge. Aaron Long is a minor gamble, but if he played that many minutes last year, I don't think you're gambling too much. I think you'll be fine. Basically, yeah, all good things. Did you want to jump in on this, Araceli? Thoughts?
Oh, I just wanted to agree with you that these are great deals, and I can't help but to wonder if this is kind of Will Kuntz the parting gift to us on these when you look at them a little more in depth. But also too, and you know me, of course, I have to throw in MLS Next Pro for a quick second here. We already know there's a lot of competition coming up this year in MLS and with the CCL. So these signings do not come into any surprise with me because we are going to need those extra legs, regardless of what match LAFC's in. But at the same time, I'm looking at like Stipe, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Looking at how young he is, there's a possibility we could see him, with the guys for CCL, or he could also be lent down to the next pro team to get playing minutes in the meantime. Again, these are good, but just thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, Danilo Maldonado could be another guy that moves back and forth, right? I mean, the way I'm hearing it with the MLS Next side, there's a good chance that we're going to build our own identity with a second team, and they're going to have their own goals with that and want to win with that, because that's what we do. We win things. And so you need some higher end guys to play down there too to make it happen. So good move once again. And yes, this definitely could be Mr. Kuntz's opus for LAFC. So we shall see. Brendan, you want to add anything else on these signings before we move on to potential departures and out of contract players?
Just one thing is, when do we have a scout in Europe? I thought they were all down in South America. When did one go to Europe? Like, did he get lost? Did he jump on the wrong plane or what? Because that's a great search for him. That's great. Whoever went and scouted him, as long as he does well, you deserve a bonus.
An up and coming Croatian.
Yeah.
Right. It is the Balkans, right? I mean, we do have Ante Razov kind of doing things for us. He might have some connections down that way. You never know. But it's good, and we're happy that it's happening, and really interesting. Now, of course, you heard of people screaming, how do they afford all these guys? Well, our roster's in flux right now, and a lot of money opened up because the roster's currently in flux. And you're like, why? How many are gone? Well, four players are currently out of contract. Not that they've signed it, they're out of contract. Who are they? We'll throw it out there. First one, Brendan, what do you want to jump on for the first guy that's out of contract?
First guy, I'll jump on Tello. We'll go Tello first.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, he's 31-year-old. Apparently, negotiations are still ongoing with him. His transfer market has him valued at 3 million euros. So for that, I don't know how you guys feel it personally. I think we can move on from him.
I'm with you on that. I hear the negotiations are ongoing. Like this is one that we're trying to get back. Dude missed a penalty in the final. I'm just gonna throw that out there, but he really didn't get many minutes for us, right?
No.
Not a whole lot. So I'm not sure. And he is a veteran player. I know he has a lot of talent, but is that direction we're gonna go in? Speaking of other potential players that could be leaving, do we need him because so many guys are potentially leaving? Just like, oh gosh, we need somebody there now that knows the system.
Yeah.
Could that be it? Just necessity says bring him back.
It could be, but if at the moment, and as I said, just personal opinion, I think we can let him go and try and keep certain other players.
And we'll talk about that, about those potential players that could be on their way. They're still under contract, but are they really? Right? Are they still? We don't know. Who else is heading out, man, that we're probably not getting back?
Well, one that from everything that I've read, tomorrow is going to get announced at Sao Paulo is Mendes. Apparently he's about to 3-year deal with Sao Paulo. So there was talk of him going to Europe, but no, apparently he's on a plane at the moment down to Brazil for Sao Paulo.
Yeah, when you play in the World Cup and play how he played, he was quite excellent, I thought, for Ecuador. He was a story for them, and I really feel they were unfortunate going 3 and out because they played better than what the record showed. Yeah, I mean, he was our playoff rental in a way, right? We got him right before the run, knowing that his contract would end, and he did his service to the side as much as he could. I know he didn't play him a whole lot, or as much as we thought he should have played. But we still got bang for our buck, and
we did.
Yeah,
I'm just disappointed because, like as you said, the way he played in the World Cup, if we could have kept him, the resale on him would have been amazing.
Yeah,
even we.
And another reason why,
if we did, here's a 1-year deal for next year after the playoffs before he goes to the World Cup. Take that risk, see the way he played at the World Cup, and go, all right, who wants to buy him?
Yeah, we lost some dough on that one. That's for sure. Of course, roster money freezes up because he wasn't cheap either. So that too, and which is why Teo might be an option as well, because there's some versatility there, and you need to cover your bases. Who else is not under contract right now?
I'm starting with one player that I do hope that we re-sign. Transfer market has him valued at $500K. 27-year-old Franco Escobar. I would like to keep him.
I would too. I do know that he was unhappy a lot with playtime. You could tell that.
Yes.
He kind of took a reaction anytime he got subbed out. I mean, he's a passionate dude, and I like the fight. I dig it. But maybe that kind of stuck with him off the field and went, wait a minute, man, I'm not getting any younger, and I need more time. This could be a year we would get that more time if certain other players get sold, but I can't fault him for moving on because he got way less time than he thought he was going to get. Right, Brendan?
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. But like as I said, from what we saw, he's a great player, and if we can keep him, because I think with that back line as well, especially out on that side where he plays, there can be a few injury problems. So having him there would be better.
You know, I like him. I mean, I've talked about it several times. I really like what he does on the right side. And if you keep him, then you can free up Hollingshead to play on the left if, say, Palacios gets sold. And so it would make sense. I would try to get him back. I'm one of those people. He's not the cheapest player, though. And that could be the situation. Tony, yay or nay? Should we make a run on Escobar or just let him go?
I say make a run, but that's me being biased. He's one of my favorite players as well. So, but again, he's like very passionate, very strong, and like what he does on the ball helps us on that right side, especially with Hollingshead and everything. So hopefully we can re-sign him, but if not, then again, I wish him the best of luck wherever he goes. Hopefully not to where he's rumored to, where he was wearing a certain warm-up for, but I hope he just comes back, to be honest.
As a purveyor of the dark arts, I really don't want him on that side because it would be used against us. I'll just say that. We need him cracking people on our side, not us getting cracked in a rivalry match. At what stadium are we going to? Oh yeah, that one. So hopefully he stays. We don't really want him to go to a rival, but I know the rumors are a rival. All right, let's move on to another player that I think all of us in a consensus can say, please re-sign the man. Don't let him walk away. Brendan, who is that?
It's one and only. It is Segura, 25 years old. Transfer market has him listed as valued at 4 million euros. Last year, we only paid him 200k base salary. Like we can up that easily to 300-400k and keep him for a couple of years, and then look at selling him overseas. But at the moment, we have to try and get him.
So the only big concern, of course, is he's coming off of a massive injury, right? Limited time.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a chance on a guy that's had a lot of time off the field because of injury? Araceli, your thoughts on weighing that, and where do you think the club's probably going to go with this?
I think the club definitely needs to push for Eddie to keep him here and give him another fair shot. Yes, he was gone for a longer period of time because of injury, but then again, so was Carlos Vela, and we still have him. I'm sorry to make that comparison, but that's the closest I can think to. So I would hope to see the club fight for him, because there's no doubt that LAFC right now is going to be the main focus for a lot of clubs, and we already see that with so many players departing, that it's going to be financially beneficial. But I mean, I can't emphasize it enough that I just want to see him stay. And I might be a little biased for saying that, but I truly do.
There it is. I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. I feel that he's one of those guys, also his heart and soul of the team, right? I mean, he's at the community stuff. You see him everywhere. He's quiet, but he's still active, and he makes the players around him better. Murillo is not the same player without Eddie. He brings him up, and I think that's an important piece to him. He's a leader, a quiet leader, but still a leader. Yeah. So that's where we're at on that. Go for it.
Also look at it too with Eddie, with us, and Araceli could probably confirm this, with us having an MLS Next Pro team, you can send him down there for a couple of months to get back to match fitness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much a possibility.
But are you going to pay a man that much to play in MLS Next?
Well,
but he would only be there for a loan. It's not like you're signing him to a Next Pro contract.
Right. So
but
I hope he stays.
Do sign to a Next Pro contract. There's technically no minimum or maximum salary.
Serious? MLS shenanigans once again. Here we go, MLS. Sheesh. So you're saying half of Carson's going to have MLS Next Pro contracts just so they can stay alive? There it is. Yep. They found the cheat code. There you go. I think Eddie wants to stay. I don't think there's any question about that. He's really happy here. So hopefully that works itself out. Other players potentially on the move. I know, more departures. You guys are bumming me out. Yeah, possible departures. All right. So the big one on this, Brendan, who's the biggest name that looks like they're probably heading out the door?
For me, the biggest name I have to say is Sifu. For us, he's been with us for a while. Sifu, look, 23 years old. Transfer market has him listed as 12 million euros. We can get that for him. Send him off to Europe. It's good for everyone. It is good for everyone.
I agree. I think his time is ready to go. He's hit a mark with us. We know he's even going to get better. But this is the age where you make the dough. It's that simple. And you can buy probably 3 players for what you might be getting for him. It covers a lot. Okay. So if he doesn't go, I think at this point, it's one of those cases where we're holding a player back. Consensus in the room on this one. I think everyone is sad to see him go. Right. But we know that it's his time to shine. So Yeah, I think you're right, and I do
hit,
think he's heading out.
yeah, he by far has hit his ceiling in MLS. He can't get any better being in MLS. He's got to go elsewhere.
Challenges are needed. Agreed. Two other players that and it's now sounding like they're possibly moving. Which one do you want to hit up
Yeah.
next?
So you got Palacios, 23 years
Mhm.
old. He's contracted to the end of the year, valued at 4 million euros. And again, there's talk of him heading off over to Europe as well, which, look, if he gets an offer for over there, take it.
One of them's linked to a team in England, correct?
I think they both are.
What I heard. Both are.
Sifu.
Yeah.
I think it was Sifu. I
Right?
know for sure. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Burlington.
Yeah, Brighton,
Or was it
from
Brighton?
what I've understand, was
Yeah.
yeah. Sifu has been linked heavily with Brighton.
Okay. Well, Palacios and Cifuentes, same story with Palacios. I've always had the up and down relationship with him because things about him kind of drive me nuts at times. But this year, he really had his moments, and showed what he could be. And so, if we get the right money for him, why the heck not? We got to make our moves. One more reason we want to sign Escobar, so Hollingshead could shift over to that side, and we'll be fine. And the young guys can develop into their roles as backups. Just a thought if that's the moves that we're taking. Araceli, yay or nay, make the move?
If it's a good deal, make the move.
Right.
Because
It's just settling.
there's a side of me that wants to be like, if he leaves, then bring Fall back. But that's just me.
I'm not disagreeing with you, right? We could always use the help. And there's a lot of roster space all of a sudden opening up now. So if we got to do it, we got to do it. But I don't think he's coming back, Brendan. Brendan, you watch Fall a heck of a lot more than we all do. Your assessment on his season so far? Do you think he's staying over there? Do you think he's coming back? Fire away, man.
With us now losing the Starman, we need that person with that attitude, that love for the fans, all that we need Fall. But if he was to come back, it is a detriment to him. It will be a detriment to him by far. He is just leaps and bounds, getting better and better game after game over there. And look, I want him back. I would love for him back. I'll give him the world to come back. But if he did, I know it'll just kill his career.
Yeah, I think it hurts him. I'm with you on that. So being greedy, I say I want him back, but having some sort of a soul, yeah, he's got to make the money for us. So probably going to go. And of course, there's one last name. I know we're mentioning 4 players now. There is one last name where the rumors are saying that this player could possibly retire before the season starts. Could you imagine? That just make me sad. Who is it, sir?
Our best golfer going around, Gareth Bale. There's talk of him retiring, hitting the golf courses permanently. Maybe grab a contract with playing golf and all that, and we'll see what happens with that.
I'm gonna make. I almost made a Top Shot reference, but it's okay. It's okay. He did what he did. We're forever thankful for it. He has up until June to make a deal with us if he wants to stay. I honestly think he's gonna stay. I know the rumors are that he's gonna retire in the winter. Why the heck would he do that? Make your money, potentially make more. You get to do the show up thing, right? Gareth, mother effing Bale. You won an MLS Cup or got us to at least the penalties. That's as close as winning it as you can get. Why not just cash in on that? If he asked for more money, we would give it to him just because of that moment. Let's be real. So I would be surprised if retirement is actually happening. I know he's opening up restaurants, guys, and he's got his other side businesses, but he likes it here. He does like it here, so I think he's going to put some more time in. Yeah.
That being said, if the Live Golf Tour offers him a contract to go play golf with them, I think he'll take that.
The question is, would he get paid more than Ronaldo to be on the Live Golf Tour?
No one will get paid
Crazy
more than
world we're
Ronaldo.
in. No, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. He makes more money than many countries do at this point. So yeah,
Mhm.
I
And he,
know, I know,
and
it's
he
wild.
most likely be breaking the law while he's living there too.
Yeah, and he could probably now melt his own World Cup.
Hmm. Well, no, that though,
Just
like
make one
just
for
reading an
himself.
article, he's not married to his partner, so they can't live in the same house together.
Wow, that's special. I'm sure there's a special dispensation for that. Just like how people could drink in Qatar, when you couldn't drink in Qatar, rich people kind of have different rules. We all know this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Um, Still, Gareth, I want you to stay, of course, for the right price. But if you go, you have our love for what you did. So I'll just leave it at that. Tony, you love the man for what he's done for your other club. What are you thinking, man? Where do you sit on this conversation?
If he wants to come back and play, then yeah, I'd rather him come back and play because again, it's he is a very important. He's someone to watch at the end of the day. It's like people are watching him when he gets on the field because like they have to worry about that. Again, if he leaves and he has to leave, like with all these players leaving, unfortunately, like I'm on the type of person where I'm like, if we get the right price or we need to sell a player, I say sell them because now we are a destination now. Honestly, there's players around the world that want to play for us. So it's easier to sell that person and get two quality players, maybe one quality player, one not so quality, and using that because then we'll be ended up like who was it? I forgot. Someone in the Dutch league had an opportunity to sell a Mexican player to Chelsea for a good amount of money for two players and decided not to do that. Now they're stuck with him and he's not doing that great. I don't want to be in that situation. If the time is right, they got to go. I know I love them. I'll always have a heart for them. But at the end of the day, if it's the time is right, the money's right, sorry, it's business is business.
And it gets us to the next bit of glory that we're chasing. We're looking for back to back. We have potentially 5 trophies to win. If you include MLS next, now we're looking at 7. We were calculating it out. It's actually potentially 8 if you play like individual awards. And I can go to 12 if you want to do that. But there's so much hardware that we could possibly win this year that yeah, we have to be pretty careful with roster building here. Depth is going to be required. I think our MLS next side, we might field 5 guys in one game, or just 7, right, to keep the game going. But I don't know how the heck we're going to shuffle between 2 sides right now with what's going on. It's going to be tough because of the 50 game schedule. It sounds funny saying that, but it's looking that way. If we go far in everything, that too. All right. So now that we've talked about the possible departures, the actual departures, and the players out of contract, the team that we were all talking about last week, we only need a 10. We only need a 10 shirt. It's a new conversation. Let's be real. There is a lot of moments or a lot of movement that we now have to make simply to build 2 squads, not 1, 2, as Araceli mentioned to us. So let's of course look at the main squad and the needs, and we'll throw it out to you guys. So thanks to MLS talking about movement. They kind of threw one out there already of potential rosters. So I'll just throw the depth out there. In goal, and there's a rumor related to a player possibly coming in that role as well. We only have one goalkeeper right now that's healthy, and that's McCarthy. He did amazing work in MLS Cup. We know he's a steady dude on the field, but play time is little to none. And so him getting a starting role is kind of a different role for him. And so it's a big ask. And you're like, well, what about Max? Max is rehabbing. And apparently there's rumors he might be heading to Montreal out of nowhere because it's the silly season. So then, of course, other rumors have popped up in the last few days. And I'll throw it to Bam once again. Who's the rumored guy, man, that might be coming our way?
There's talk of Everton's backup keeper, Eldon Jakovic, who hasn't played for Everton this season after signing to them from Leicester.
Interesting. Yeah, because they've got 4 or 5 top end goalkeepers on that side. So they kind of have a glut. They need to move people. And the rumor is free transfer. So it doesn't cost us anything to bring him in. He sounds, well, from what I saw stat wise, he doesn't play a whole lot. Not for the last few seasons. He's kind of a museum piece, a highly skilled 6'3" proper goalkeeper sitting on a shelf. So that's kind of tough. If he comes in, I don't think he wants to come here to sit. He's been doing that a lot the last few years. He'll be wanting to fight to get that starting role. So who knows if this is going to happen? Tony, do you think there's some truth to this one?
Could be some truth, but I'm getting Blackman vibes. I just realized how tall he was.
Oh no, don't go there, dude. Don't go there.
Someone who hasn't
gosh.
sat, hasn't played that well, okay stats, jumped around. Yeah.
I was thinking of another goalkeeper that we had that was kind of an adventure. We haven't been great on the goalkeeper front. Max was the first one that were like, hey, we got a proper goalkeeper. And then McCarthy's like, hey, we got lucky and got a proper backup goalkeeper. And those are really the first two that I really go, yeah, those dudes legit got it. So we haven't done all that great. Araceli, what are your thoughts on this one? Is he just taking up space so we can keep moving and keeping maybe MLS Next competitive?
I have to admit, I'm a little hesitant on this rumor, whether it's going to be true or not. I have seen multiple articles on it, so I'm kind of leaning more towards we might see another hat gift from LAFC soon on Twitter. But looking at his stats, as you guys already mentioned, he really does not play a lot. He's kind of the last resort, which I hate to say. Plus, he's 38 years old. So it's kind of puts it a little into question of why we would even consider him. Another thing I think we're kind of forgetting a little bit is that we did draft a goalkeeper from the super draft, Jassim Colite. I probably mispronouncing his last name, but 58th pick overall. Again, another goalkeeper. So could that be McCarthy's backup, or could that be our starting for the next pro side? I mean, it really could go either way.
Yeah, we're not sure. A free transfer, though, I mean, it's an easy gamble, especially if he wants to play for a small amount just to get somewhere, enjoy the sun, fill the roster space. Who knows? It could be interesting. We'll see what happens. I know when he did get play time for certain sides, he did really well in his younger years, but it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Looking at the center back situation, things have kind of, I don't know, look pretty darn solid. This is probably our most comfortable role outside of wingers and forwards. We have Long and Murillo. Those look like your day-to-day starters. We have Chiellini. Yeah, he's coming back. He's a starter when we want him to be and when he feels good enough to be one, right? Age matters. Then you have Maldonado. Serviceable players, got some experience, national teams, Olympics. He can slip in there and do what he's got to do. So you got 4 strong guys already. And oh, yeah, we have Leone, the kid that needs some minutes. Yes, he's going to be on MLS Next a lot, but now you got 5 guys to fill 2 roles, unless you go 3 center back, which that's a rarity for us. That's a lot of guys. And now we're talking about potentially bringing Segura back. Something tells me with the amount of guys we now have in these 2 roles, that might not be the case anymore. But it's still there. We're pretty deep here. I don't think we have to debate too much. We don't need much there. If it stays this way and Segura doesn't come, we still got 4 guys that are going to do the job, and it makes perfect sense for Ibeagha to move along. Cool. Now, the right back, left back situation becomes a very different thing. And yes, I put them together because of a certain player. If Palacios leaves, your options at left back are Hollingshead and Traore. Truth. Your options at right back, Hollingshead. Wait, how you gonna do that if he's over there, right? Gaines and Duenas. And yes, Duenas, young kid, huge upside, day-to-day MLS player. Asking too much from a young lad. So something's gonna give. Either Palacios is staying, which we all think he's not, or we're bringing Escobar back, but expect some type of movement either on the left side. I'm thinking the left side or the right. but definitely something has to happen here. That could be a potential move. Um, Tony, do you think we're shopping for another outside back at this point,
I
or
believe
looking to
so.
re-sign?
I feel like
Yeah.
we're shopping for an outside back. Again, the back line has always been a weakness. I know midfielder is also a weakness at the moment right now because with the rumor stuff, but right now we need to solidify our back line and keeper and then move forward after that.
Yeah. I mean, we can't rely on the kids. We got a lot of good kids in these roles, but that's a tough ask. A tough ask. Do you think with Palacios potentially leaving, um, is there a chance for a problem there? I'll go to Araceli.
Um, I think there could be a chance on it, unfortunately, because we have seen different situations in the past for like Walker Zimmerman leaving or Lee Wentz leaving and having trouble to fill that role. So I do have a bad feeling about this if we do actually sell Palacios or trade him or whichever the case may be. I'm trying to see about other options if there's anyone else that can stand out. Going back to the draft for a quick second. Along with Jassim, we also drafted Noah Dolan-Mayer, who is an
Uh-huh.
outside back. So there's possibilities.
Right. There is one other that we didn't really mention. And we talked about Latif leaving, who has played time at right back for us, so that's another one leaving. Murillo, playing in Colombia, played several matches at right back. He has experience in that role as well. We've just never been the side to utilize him that way. But he could play that role. I know. Are we going to do this? I don't think so. I think we like where he's at already. But if you're in a jam, he could do that role. The other thought is Ilie, and we'll talk about the midfield in a second, but Ilie can also play center back. So another bit of depth there if we need him to be there. But let's talk about the thinnest part on the field. I know we're like, wait, but the outside backs aren't complete. Yeah, well, guess what? Our midfield now isn't either. You're like, but wait, I thought we had a great midfield. We did, but people are moving. Look, right now we have Acosta, Cifuentes, and Ilie. That's it. And one could be sold. This is your thin area. Okay. You need support here. There's got to be some moves. I'll throw it to you, Bam. Looking at the wings and strikers, I mean, we really don't have options coming back from up there, right? I mean, we need to really get new blood here.
No, like you might be able to transfer Opoku into an attacking mid out on the wing, but besides that, we need to do something in the midfield.
Yeah, if Fuentes is out of here, you now have two functional starting day-to-day midfielders. And both, in many cases, have more of a defensive mindset, you could say, a scrappier mindset. So that number 10 we keep talking about, if it wasn't shouting at us for the last 5 freaking years, it's shouting at us now. We need a creative midfielder and quick. Which, of course, the two ways to get one is to buy one outright or to trade for one. And if you look at our roster and the way it's built, the back line, those aren't the players you're going to trade. Goalkeeper, Max was rumored, but he's injured. You got to look at the strikers and wingers because if you're heavy, we're there. So now we look at these guys, and maybe one of these guys could be a potential trade move. You have Bouanga, your starter on the left, Arango in the middle, Vela on the right. Your depth for left wing, you now have Buke and you have Opoku. Man, I love Opoku. Can't wait to see him back there again. That's your depth on that side. Vela on the right, Vela, right? Bale potential, Torres potential. I know Torres, right? I haven't heard his name in a while. He's still in the depth chart. He's still there. I think MLS next is his time to shine. Let's be real. But the kid needs some minutes too. Up in the middle, of course, you have Arango, Bale, Opoku, potentially Vela. You know how our guys move around, but think about the names here, right? Could somebody be moved for the sake of midfield? Could something happen there? Because there is a lot of depth there. That's our heaviest area, right? We have riches in that role. If Bale comes back, of course. But I'll throw it to you, Bam. Are they going to stand pat with what they have up there? Do you think they might be shopping somebody on that list? What do you think is happening up top?
If they are shopping, the only player I can see them shopping, and again, I don't want to see this guy leave us for anyone else in the league, is Opoku. Let's be real.
Arango. We've heard his name before. Yeah.
Arango is only going to leave us to go overseas. But if you're looking at shopping someone inside the MLS, it has to be Opoku. We're not going to get rid of Bouanga. Buick, we just signed, so he's not going anywhere. Torres, I see him more as MLS Next Pro. So looking at that, Opoku. And again, I don't want to lose him, but he needs playing time, so I can see him being shopped around to elsewhere in the league.
And that's the name that I thought of as well. Again, I love the player. I hope he stays. I hope we don't do anything with this front line. Just stick with what you have. Stand pat. Don't make a move. But if we are in desperation mode and we need to get somebody and we need to make a trade, Opoku's the most enticing potential name that could get you value because he's got years in him. And there's other guys in the lineup that don't up there. They have now in them. So the only guy that has tomorrow, two of them, Rongo too, and Buick, but they're in different financial situations. The only guy that can move probably at value is Opoku. So we'll see what happens. I hope he stays, but we got to fill some holes here. That's without a doubt. So I will throw it back to community on this one for reactions, requests, thoughts. So we'll give it up to you guys right now as we hit the hour mark of the show. So do not hold back, guys. Give us what you got. What are your thoughts on the squad? All right, I'm going to run through here, talking about guys that need to stay, guys that need to go. Guys, we're talking about Eddie, so I'll go right back to the Eddie situation. It says, now I need to know what's going on with Eddie. Is it savvy for the club given his injury past, or does he deserve a second rehab? Granted, he's a long-term mainstay. This is for Daniel Angel. Wolf came up with the same thing. Eddie should get a second try. Looking at the situation on our side, yes, we're deep at center back, but you could get some freedom from Murillo if you get another center back to possibly moonlight at the right. There's a thought. Hector Ramirez A says we need Di Arrasqueta, attacking midfielder, Uruguayan. Attacking midfielder, that's the term that we have to look at right there. I'm with you, man. We need an attacking midfielder. Is Di Arrasqueta the guy? I don't know. But and if that's what we're shooting for, that would be fun. Bam, what are your thoughts there, man?
So I did a quick search on him. Currently plays for Flamengo down in Brazil. Quite well, but I don't see us paying 19 million euros for him.
Is that what they want?
That's his transfer market value, 19 million.
Yeah, we aren't going to spend that. We'd like to, but the name would have to be a heck of a lot more recognizable. I know there's quality guys, but you know MLS.
That being said, he's played for Uruguay 42 times and scored 10 goals.
Yeah, but is somebody going to buy his shirt? A lot? I know. See, that's the MLS problem. But yeah, would he help us? Surely. But is he marketable enough to spend that kind of dough? And probably not. Sounds funny, but I know it's the way we operate. Daniel Angel, and I will throw this one up here. He's talking about Will Kuntz. He says he needs more credit. Every JT move, Will was right there. That's Will. That's Will, man. Everywhere he's gone, it's been the story. He builds winners. What he does. No question. No question at all. Let's see. Jose Bernal's in the mix. I see you there. Daniel Angel Palacios, best assist in club history. Agreed. Jonah B, I can see Sifu play next to McAllister at Brighton. It would be a great move for him and a great return for the club. Dude, McAllister is the man, dude. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. He was one of my favorites for Argentina, and yeah, that he would fit in really well with him. I agree with you. That would be pretty good for them. If only McAllister could find his way our way one day, that would be cool too. David Day says like button on that. I see that. David Day made the request. I'll just throw that to you, sir. Quick segment. Where are they now? We were doing it, and then we got copyrighted and shut down. I'll just throw that out there right there. By FIFA.
That's right.
We got shut down by FIFA. Yeah. Never forgetting that. That was cool. All right. Here's one from Kobe. Max is a huge part of winning the championship and Supporters Shield. A solid goalkeeper is key. I'm with you, man. I don't want to see him leave either. I think it's a crazy rumor. He's rehabbing for us. He should be coming back to us. But I know it's silly season. Edgar Corral. We need a right back bad. With you, man. With you, man. Is it going to be Escobar? I would say make the move. But yeah, Hollingshead, if he goes back home to left back, his natural role where he plays best, let's be real. And Palacios gets moved on. That's trouble. Real trouble for us on that side. Nothing against Gaines and Duenas. They're kids. Real talk. They got development to do. That's a hard ask for them to throw them right into the mix. So good stuff, Edgar. Thanks for that. Thank you guys for your comments. All right. So we've talked it out. Tony, you want to talk about the roster? Or are we ready to get into community news, sir?
Talk about the roster, I would say, before we go into community news.
Mm-hmm.
What was I? Sorry. Like I said, my internet has been shot at the moment, so I'm like trying to get everything back. Actually, just go to communities right now since it's a little bit easier. So
yeah, and final comments, we could throw it back to you as well, man. So let me jump over there and get us switched over to community news. You have the floor, sir.
So as most of you know, there's Flex Power Tools is throwing a indoor tournament right there at I think it's 5, if I remember right, the places in Norwalk. Thank you. It is, February 4th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, MLS Cup, Flex Demo, promotions, and more. Giveaway, free raffles. The link will be I'll put the link in our bio to register, and it's pretty much all funds benefit the Mo Facio futsal court. It's really fun. It's more competition. You can build your own team, do whatever you would like and stuff like that. And again, this is also your opportunity. As I just said, the MLS Cup will be there. So this is your opportunity to see it in person and, take a picture in front of it.
For real. And Mo's court needs help, guys. I know it's huge to fund a football field. We need help. We need help. And so this is another chance to do it and have a fun time while you're at it as well. Also adding to it, they will be selling the Mo scarves that you've seen rolling out there. I have one hanging behind me. You can kind of see that side. There it is, right? So Mo's over my shoulder. Definitely. Here comes Tony with it. Make the purchase. Every purchase goes towards the field. All proceeds go towards the field. Nobody's making profit off of this. It's going towards the cause. So there are a lot of them left, I've been told. There's plenty of stock, and they will have a table set up at the tournament. So please make the purchase. I've got mine as well. Tony's got his. Yeah, we need the support without a doubt. Not looking to beg, but definitely firmly asking you guys to support the cause. So yes. Any other community news, Tony?
Not so far. I know we're still in the works for something that we're working on near the end of the month. So we'll put those on the socials, and if we have another podcast, we'll bring it up for you guys to understand that. But mind you, it's going to be a fun event, and hopefully you guys can join us once we have more details and we show you what's going on.
There it is. I don't know if we can call this community news, but Tony, you went out to the Empire Strikers game a few days ago, correct?
Correct.
Which is also has a lot of black and gold tinge to it. I know they were purple, but the vibe is there, right?
The vibe is there. It's a very fun event. I recommend anybody who needs their football fix or soccer fix to go to that. It's a very fun event. They're really skilled players. You can tell who has the vision, who doesn't. It's fun. It was the night I went, it was $2 beer night with rowdies, but even with that, just the atmosphere was very fun, friendly. Like there was some kids trying to start their own little chant, so it's very like the atmosphere is perfect. Like honestly, they should get more like exposure and stuff like that. So again, if you have it, tickets are not too expensive. Honestly, I was at the game that I was going. I was watching when I was gonna go get some tickets. $25 was the most expensive ticket. How
Yeah,
many?
it's pretty. Yeah,
It's pretty
cheap,
cheap.
right?
Exactly. You like. I know it's hard to bring friends and family and have a good time at an event, especially here in LA. That's the one thing I was saying. It was like here in LA, there's no shot you can get a sports ticket for maybe under $25, if that. And that's again the most expensive ticket.
There it is. It's the best kept secret in Inland Empire. Straight up, guys. And by the way, their Hummel kits are really, really cool.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
If you have an opportunity, buy the purple jersey. The purple goalie jersey is nice.
Yeah, it's cool. And the one and only Adrian Perez is now playing for them, scoring goals left and right, I think, once again, because that's what he does. Yes, he's back from DC United playing for them, helping the team out. So all the best to them. All the best to Philly, Panda, Jonathan. I know they call him the doctor. Yeah, dude, they're putting in some hard work out there. So go support and say hi to the crew. So good things. Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. We're gonna jump over to that, and this time I'm gonna let Brendan run with it. I think the song's pretty obvious, album's pretty obvious, but you have the floor, sir.
Yeah. So obviously, with the news that came up, we were thinking about what to do for this. We all knew had to be the one. So it's obviously the song is Starman by David Bowie, which comes off the album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. You know, we all know the song. It's a cracking song by an absolutely amazing artist. So definitely has to be this week's.
Y'all gonna play and cry, you know that, right? I'm just saying, it's be nostalgic, sing it along. I might challenge Brendan to try to sing the chant right now, but I'll be nice and not push him too hard to do so. You have the floor if you want to.
No chance. No chance. No chance. Trust me. I sing, we lose everyone listening.
It's over. We cede and retire. No, not happening. If you want to hear me singing, I'm good, but not right now. I don't want to break my mic, so it's cool. It's cool. Just saying. All right. So, outside of that, looking good, guys. Thanks again for your reactions today. Good ones today. That is for sure. Did I miss any? I'm going to jump back there, see if you guys had a few that you wanted to throw out to us. Let's run it through, run it back, see if we got something interesting up or that we missed as we run through here. I see Jonah B made it on. Jerry Tamayo made it today. So just shout out to you guys for your support and putting comments in today. Jose Bernal made it on as well. So thank you. And then David Day. Yes, he's the guy we need to bring up. Like button. We always forget to ask for it. David reminds us every week. So shout out to David Day for always reminding everybody that, yes, this show needs you to hit the like button. Life or death. Let's do this. Support the cause. He also talked about all the crazy games we're playing, talking about CCL, Campeones Cup, MLS Cup, US Open Cup, MLS Next Cup, the race for the Golden Boots. We're doing a lot of stuff this year, guys. Yeah, a lot of options, a lot of trophies we can win. Let's fill the handful of rings. I'm down with that. All right. And I think Burke's on there. He just jumped on. Said fantastic album, one of the best. Agreed. Pure genius. Let's be real. Good stuff there. And Smalls comes in. His name is Latif Blessing, and he's effing dynamite. It's the only time my kids are ever allowed to use that word is for that song. I'm just going to throw that right out there right now. The only time. So there it is. Thank you, Smalls, for throwing it out. Latif, you'll be missed, man. Thank you for your service, dude. All right, good stuff, guys. Thank you for everything. I think we're down to final thoughts and reactions from the panel. Yes, I know it's that one. So I am going to throw it to Tony before his internet cuts out. Tony, your final thoughts, sir.
Just final thoughts is we made it through another podcast. Again, next one's going to be 269, as Philly or Scarf would say, giggity. And so hopefully we can keep continuing this and entertaining you guys. As David Day always says, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, even like posts, share our posts with everything. Because again, we're about the community. We're about you guys, and we run because of you guys, not because of, we're trying to do anything with this. It's just a passion because of you guys. Besides that, check on your mates, make sure everything's doing well, and that's about it for me.
There it is. Thank you, Tony. And yes, you are right. Always check on your mates. Support your friends, support your family. Keep dialogue going. Show the love, man. The world needs a whole lot more of it than we give. So, yes, well said, Tony. Araceli, final thoughts today.
I already mentioned this at the top of the show, but just a quick little reminder. I'm going to be in Philadelphia next week for the United Soccer Coaches Convention. So I am just beyond excited to attend it, go to the NWSL draft. So definitely keep an eye on our socials because I will be posting from there. Other than that, I mean, I've already said this multiple times, but really, I'm just ready for this season to start and just for the chaos to begin.
The chaos and defending a championship, right? That's what we're doing. By the way, Araceli, thank you for heading out to the convention and doing what you do. Always showing up. All-star game this year, right? Last year, putting in the work. Probably gonna go to the next All-star game. Let's be real, depending on where that's going to be at. Thank you for all the work that you do. Keep doing it because it's been awesome. It's been awesome, and of course, you get to see something else take off again. The development league, but now fully fledged development league, huge. And so I know you're going to be keeping us super updated, especially with LAFC's side and how things are developing. So we are, again, beyond grateful, beyond thankful. You always rock, Araceli. Keep it up. Bam. Final thoughts, sir.
Final thoughts. I was going to go to soccer tonight after this podcast, but all my mates have been banned due to where the tickets are located due to what happened a couple of years ago. So unfortunately, I won't be going to that tonight. My biggest thing, as we've all mentioned, is look after your mates. Remember, just ask, "Are you okay?" And always remember, it's okay to not to be okay. If you need help with anything like that, talk to your mates. We've all grown up the whole men just a strong silence type, but these days, just don't do that. Talk to someone. There's always someone there that can help.
Silence in many cases is pretty much the sign to look for, and ask, especially during the holidays. This is the toughest time, without a doubt. Whether it's finances, whether it's family, we know the challenges seem to always come up most around this time of year. So I know the holidays are there, but yeah, show the love. Definitely talk. It is critically important. Thank you, Bam. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Araceli, for another amazing episode. Thank you to the faithful for always coming up with great comments, reminding us of things that might have slipped on our end as well, and just keeping us honest week in and week out. The community just keeps getting bigger, getting stronger, and just becoming a proper family. And we have some great people around us. So on my end, again, my heart is with Sinaloa and our friends and family down that way. We're hoping for better times for all of you, especially after a really great holiday. Yes, that's where my head and my heart is right now. As well, with the faithful, looking forward to seeing all you guys at all these amazing events, especially the community events, on the field, flying through to Costa Rica. Boy, we have great adventures to have together. So let's do this. I know, right? It's almost here. February's almost here. It's happening. So, all right. Let me get everybody ready to go here. Final word to Tony before he freezes. He froze. Good night, Tony. He froze. Wait. Is he alive? Is he alive? Is he breathing? He's twitching. I'll say it on behalf of Tony. From Tony, stay golden. All right. To Araceli.
Stay golden.
To Bam.
Stay golden.
He almost froze too, people. And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.